Hi guys, welcome to my first vlog. Yay! Clap for me. So I promise I will not be before you long, but on tonight I'm going to speak with you on the full blood, half blood siblings. I pray that it be a blessing to you. The reason of my vlogs is to mainly is to encourage and to uplift, not to be judgmental or to tear down. Um, I just want to be a blessing to people and to encourage them with my life story. Some of the things that I've gone through. Majority of my vlogs will be stuff that I've endured and conquered. So let's get right into it. Okay, so transparent moment. It is like 12:47 in the morning, and I have been working on this video since about um, 3 weeks, maybe. And it's like I just can't seem to get it because I'm so worried about like, oh my God, saving feelings and saving face. And majority of the time when God gives you an assignment, it just causes you to not want to be, but kind of be disobedient because God is requiring you to do something that you really don't want to do because you don't want it to backlash, or you may not want to hear the negative comments. You don't want to read the negative comments. You just don't want to deal with it. And if you can kind of stay under the radar and talk about just yourself, or just talk about things that you've done above age level, then you're good. But sometimes God will scrape the surface and make you have a conversation or talk about or help that you in an area that you really don't want to help in, because you could be very well be dealing with still trying to deal with it, still trying to forgive, or still trying to maybe walk in love, or whatever the case may be. But a couple of weeks ago, God had given me a topic to talk about once He put this my heart doing vlogs, being a vlogger and vlogging my different life story, because I'm in the process of writing my book. So I wanted to start vlogging. So when He gave me this, I was like, well, I wonder what would be my first topic. I'm thinking about maybe dealing with something with the wives, or being a single mom, just anything regular. I never thought that it would be talking about full blood and half blood siblings. Not what I wanted to do. And so I was talking to my friend about it. I was like, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's do that. And it's like God would make sure that she was busy, or she, would have something, so I couldn't, so we couldn't work together. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of go around it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And God was like, no, either you're going to do it, or then you won't do it at all. So once I agreed to do it, then the devil, of course, then he wants to bother me and start bringing all types of different frustrations. Every single day I'm like extremely busy, where I can't get to writing, or I can't get to my video. And it was like, okay, yeah, this is God. Because if it wasn't, I would not be going through all of this. And every day God would bring it up. He would remind me. So I'm going to get it out. Here goes. All right, so talking about the full blood and half blood siblings. Of course, it's not always the norm, but it does happen where the brother and sister live together. So you have the brother, you may have the sister, brother, sister. They have the same mom and dad. They get along. They are the best of siblings. And most siblings that have the same mom and dad, they are very, very close. Me, my brother, and my sister, we are very close. We have the same mom and dad, of course. So we grew up together. My brother was the oldest, then it was my sister, and then it was me. I used to be the baby. And we're just so close. I love my brother. He gets on my nerves. And I love my sister, and she gets on my nerves. But I love them every day, and every day we talk. I talk to them about every single day. My brother, he's just an awesome guy, and he's just great. I just love him. My sister, she's my best friend, my first best friend. I can talk to her about anything. She's always covered everything I've done wrong. Whatever I did, she was not going to tell me. My brother, they weren't going to tell me either. So if I was going to get a whipping, they didn't know about it. They always covered their little sister, like most like most brothers and sisters, big brother and big sisters do. They cover their little sister, and even though I was so mean to them, they still covered me. I love them so much. But yeah, so talking about that, we grew up together, of course, so we had the most amazing relationship ever. Yes, we fuss and we fight, but we were still close. Um, so dealing with that, you may have siblings on the outside. You may have outside brothers and sisters that you really don't even know about. And dealing and having that, some of them, they really don't even like you, and you may be older than them, but they may not even really like you. They may not even care anything about you, and it's family secrets. Majority of the time it's family secrets of why they don't like you. It's because they don't even know you. They haven't got to know you, but they just know that you had a mom and the dad in the home, and they didn't. Oftentimes I always talk about to some of the girls that have siblings that they may not know about, or trying to like a sibling. I always think about the story in the Bible of Isaac and Ishmael, and how Ishmael and he was not the promised child, but Isaac was the promised child with his mom and with his dad. But Sarah, of course, God told her that he was going to bless her with a son, and I guess God didn't move in her time, so she figured that she would just do it on her own. So she sent a woman to have sex with her husband, and he fathered, her husband fathered Ishmael. And Ishmael was not the promised child. He had to go through a lot of stuff, but God still blessed him. Even in that, God still blessed him. And Isaac comes along with the husband and the wife, and God honored him. He was the blessed child. He was blessed because he was called. He was the promised child. And oftentimes we think that just because we may be little Ishmaels, that there's no purpose on our lives, and that why the spirit, there's all types of spirits that comes along with being a outside child. There's the spirit of jealousy, the spirit of hatred, there's a spirit of anger, rage, envy. There's so many spirits that has been passed down to you siblings that are outside, and it's not even your fault. There's still purpose in your life. God can still and will still bless you, just like David in the Bible. God, all the things that he did that was so wrong, and he went out and slept with Bathsheba. God still loved him. God still honored him. God still cared for him, mainly because he was still after God's heart. And through all that he's been through, and through all that he went through, God was still going to bless him. He really, really liked David, just like God really, really likes, the other siblings that are outside. You may have had to have a hard life. You may have had to go through this. You may have had to lose that, or not be able to have your mother, or not be able to have your father in your life because of the sins of the parents. A lot of times the children, we suffer because of our sins, because of the sins of our parents. I'll say, because I don't want to say, but I'm going to say that I've recently found out that I had siblings, and that they were basically they're younger than me, of course, and it was kind of like, I don't know, I was kind of mad at first. I was like, I don't know them, and then when I saw a picture, and it was like, oh my God, like they favor me, or oh my God, like wow, I bet she would really be this, or he would really be that, and it really bothered me for a while. And I told my husband about it, and I was like, yo, that's not fair. I started thinking about it, like, they deserve a chance too. They deserve this too, or they deserve that. It's not their fault. I started to think about it. I believe that all children need their fathers. It doesn't matter if you was man enough or woman enough to sleep around with somebody's husband, or if you was man enough to sleep around on your wife, then you should be, and the child was made, then you should be man enough to take responsibility of that child and keep that child involved, be involved in that child's life, and help that child through different circumstances that they're going to go through. I believe that it's important for the mother as well to have that conversation and to let her children know, or to let their kids know that, I was wrong. I didn't know who I was as a woman, or I didn't know this, or I didn't care about this, that, that he may have had a wife, and instead of me having, being bigger or being wiser and being smart, I chose to lay down with him and have a child by him, or have children by him. And I think that sometimes we don't want to admit that we want to just blame the father, put the father at fault, when it's not the father. It's both of them. And if the wife chose to stay, then I think it's important that you sit down and have that conversation with your children, and you let them know that daddy's made a mistake, but we're going to be together, and there's a child that's been made, and we need to we're going to accept this child as if it was our own. And I think that God will honor that. When God don't, or what God does not honor, is when you act as though that child doesn't exist. Because regardless of what you did, there was still a child made, and that child still deserves greatness. That child still deserves to know that they are still beautiful, they are still smart, they're still intelligent, they're still got purpose over their life. God is still going to bless them, and I think that we stray away from that. I think there wouldn't be so many bitter and angry kids walking around here in this world now, that if we just sat down and had that conversation, or if we just sat down and was honest with our with our children, and letting them know this is what happened. God forbid, I pray that I never, ever have to endure that. But if I did, I would want my children to know this, or I would want my children to know that, this is what happened, and you have a little sister, or you have a little brother. My children now, I'm a mother of 7, and they don't all have the same father. But my children, they are all close. They are all best friends. Why? Because they live with their mom. They all live with me. So of course they don't know no other way. All they know is to be extremely close, and all they know is to just love each other. They don't know that this is this. No, this is not my half brother. This is my half sister. No, they know that we don't have steps in our house anyway. Everybody is one whole. And my husband, he has a daughter, and she doesn't get to come around as much. I'll say right now, she doesn't really get to come around. She's 6 years old, and my children know who she is. They love her. When we do get to see her, they don't see nothing's changed. They just know that she doesn't live with us, and I'm sure that her and her brother, because she does have a little brother, so I'm sure her and her little brother are a lot closer than her and her brothers over here, and her sisters over at my house, because they live together. So it is very common that you may have siblings that don't live in the home, but you're closer to the siblings that live in your home. But I think it's important that you should still know. What aggravates me a lot with the siblings is that it's amazing how some family members know about the siblings, but you don't. And you're like, well, how do you know? Or you see them commenting on their Facebook, or you see them talking about them, and it's sad. You're like, wow, this is crazy. Like, ain't nothing about this God. How y'all, then they walk around here hating you or not liking you, and they don't even know you. Like, how you don't like me? I'm older than y'all. And you think about it. You're like, if anybody, I shouldn't like y'all, but it's, or shouldn't like you. And, and I don't know how many siblings I have, to be honest with you. I don't know, but I would love to meet them, because I want to do my part, I would love to do my part. I would love to sit down and have that conversation and know some stuff, and hear the truth. You be forgiving people, you don't even know what you're forgiving, or it's sad if I can't tell my children to do something that I can't do, or you shouldn't want to tell your kids something that you can't do. You know, if you got siblings out here, get to know your siblings, get to know them. You know, hey, look, we got the same mom or we got the same dad, and so basically we got the same blood running through us, and it's important that we get to know each other. Why? Because I have children and you have children, and you would hate for them to meet each other, and before you know it, they are dating, and they have a bunch of little handicapped kids. And not speaking on handicapped, because I love handicapped children, but I'm just saying that can be avoided, because if y'all have that conversation and let them know y'all's cousins, or or that's that's your brother, that's your sister. It's those type conversations that I believe that if we have with our family, some stuff ain't really got to be, and I'm just being honest. My videos are going to be very honest. I'm going to be very, very honest and transparent with y'all, and I just pray that it blesses you, and I pray that if you have siblings out here that you don't know and that you don't like, or you may not even like them, or you may be 10 years older than your sibling and you don't like them because they're not with your mom anymore, they're not with your dad. You need to be free from that. That's holding on to unforgiveness, and you can't enter into heaven with unforgiveness in your heart. You can't do it. You can't be free. You can't live a free life. You can't live a blessed life, and get all the promises that God has in store for you if you're holding on to unforgiveness. If you're holding on to hatred in your heart towards people that you don't know. It would be really sad to be walking around this world for this however many years hating a person that you've never met, hating a person that you've never ever said two words to. Do you have a right to be angry? No. If you think about it, do you really have a right to be angry? If you sit down and just say, okay, I have a brother or I have a sister because this happened. My dad and my mother may have passed away, and my dad moved on, and they had children, but I'm still mad that he moved on because my mom passed away. I don't like that child. Why? Or my dad cheated on my mom and he fathered kids, and I don't like any of them because he cheated on my mom. Why? Or my mom, vice versa, it could go the opposite way. My mom, whatever. But it's like, why? My dad died, so my mom got married again, and they had children, and I don't like them because my dad is dead, and I didn't want her to move on. Why? If you think about it, why? The Bible tells us that we are to honor our mother and father, and our days shall be longer. It doesn't say, according to the type of parents that you get, according to your mom, according to your dad, that would justify if you can honor them or if you can respect them. No, it doesn't matter what they do, and it was very hard for me, as I can be honest again. I would be transparent. It was very hard for me when I started finding out some stuff that my mom and my dad did, and then I felt like they didn't sit down and have that conversation with us, especially a lot of the stuff that my dad done. I was very mad at my father for years, and I basically hated my dad because I felt like, really? I just blamed him for a lot of stuff that I really couldn't blame him. It was like, yeah, he did this, yeah, he did that, but at the end of the day, still your daddy. You still gotta respect him, you still gotta honor him, you still gotta forgive him, and you still gotta love him. And if you want to do all those things, and you want to live a peaceful life, or you want to live right by me, or you want me to bless you with this, you want me to bless you with that, then yeah, you're gonna have to forgive, and you're gonna have to let it go. And I'm like, but I don't want to let it go. What about all these? What about them? That's not your problem. And that was God. That's not your problem. Well, God, what about when he did? Yeah, still have anything to do with you. I didn't. That's not in my word. That's not in my word. My word is that you're to honor, regardless of what. And I'm like, but what about? That's not you to worry about. So I started praying. I had to pray for my relationship, that I could actually look my dad in his eyes and have a conversation with him. That I can actually go over to my mom's house and act like I got some sense, or whatever. But it doesn't take away the questions that I had, or even with the other children. Some of the older kids, I would say, I reached out to them, and they're angry, they're mad, and it's like, I'm sorry, what did I do again? You start to think about it, because you're like, what did I do? I didn't do anything to you. I'm just trying to get to know who y'all are, because we are brothers and sisters, and I want y'all to meet my children. So, and when y'all start having kids, y'all know, we'll know not to do that. And some of them have kids, and I know a lot of times y'all hear me on my video when I say I'm excited about being an aunt. That I can actually be in their life, because I think some of my siblings, they have children, but of course I probably won't be able to meet them unless God changes the situation. So speaking on my behalf, I guess, if you are dealing with what I've dealt with, or what I'm dealing with, and you can fix it, fix it. You have a big brother, you have a big sister, or you have a little brother, or you have a little sister. Get to know them, and be all that you could be, and help them as much as you can, because God will honor you. God will honor you. And if you are that woman that slept with somebody's husband, sit down and have that conversation with your children. Or if you was that man that slept with somebody's wife, sit down and have that conversation with your children. I believe some of that hatred and some of that anger will kind of cease down, because they will know the truth. They only know what they've seen. Everything is a learned behavior. So they only know what they see. They may not like the father because they haven't seen him. One thing about a man is that a married man is not going to leave his wife because he got a female out here pregnant, My old self would have called another name, or I probably would have said some other stuff, but I just said a female. So, it's not going to leave home. And a lot of times women, I'm going to put, they want to go and fly and put them on child support. And I feel like, this is me though. This is me. And this is my blog, so I can say what I want to say. But I feel like if you go and have a child by somebody else's husband, you shouldn't be allowed to put the father on child support, because you kind of signed up for that. What did you think? You thought he was going to help you take care of the child? Is it right? No, but why? That's your fault too. That's your fault. That's your fault too. You can't just blame it all on that man. That's your fault too, because you knew he was married when he went up to your house, or you knew that he was married before. Whatever, you knew it. So I believe that, I don't think that you should do that. I don't think that should be allowed, because there's a lot of women that would be walking around here paid if they actually took these women to court for sleeping around with their husband, and having children by their husband. Or there's a lot of men that would be paid if they, it's vice versa. It would just be so much, because if you actually did things according to how stuff happened, and you dealt with it. But I just encourage that you may have half brothers, and you may have half sisters, and I just encourage you guys to seek the face of God first, and mend that broken relationship. Show people that we may be half brothers and we may be half sisters, but the fact that we share the same blood is important, and the fact that we share that same blood, it's my duty to have a relationship with you. It's my duty to help you, because how can I walk around and say, I have brothers and sisters of Christ in Christ, and this is my sister in Christ, or this is my brother so and so in Christ, but you got blood brothers and sisters out walking around here that you won't even acknowledge. That's not, no, we ain't got the same, and y'all know that you got the same dad, or that you have the same mom. That ain't right. God look at you like, oh really? So you can claim this person they only know you from Sunday, but you got a brother or a sister that you don't even know. That's not cool. It's not cool for me, because I think about it every day, and I pray for I pray for my siblings that God would still bless them, and God would just they will have the heart of God. And I pray for them, and I pray that I believe that one day God is going to open up that door, and I'm going to be able to meet my siblings and do whatever I can do to help, and they meet my children and whatever, like I believe God for that. I really do, and I don't have a problem with none of them because it's not your fault. you know it's not your fault. It's your mama's fault. It's your daddy's fault. But it's not your fault, and there's still purpose. There's still a calling over your life. God is still going to bless you. God is still going to open up doors. Y'all can still be whatever God has ordered for y'all to be. Why? Because it's not in you. The sin is what they did. It has nothing to do with you. And I just pray that my video has blessed you guys. I pray that no matter how, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of backlash out of this video. Probably people may not even talk to me anymore after this video. But obedience is better than sacrifice. And everything I've said, I believe that I said it out of my spirit and not self-led. And I look forward to my next video. And I pray that you guys are just be blessed. I pray that you share my video and make sure that I said everything. I believe I did. I think I got everything out that God has given me to say. And if you have any comments or you want to talk or you just want me to do anything, you can always comment below, or you can message me. You know how to get in contact with me, or leave your negative comments on the inside of your thoughts and then cast them down and send them back to the pit of hell. Don't type it on my status because I'm not going to comment. I have been in prayer that, Lord, I know I'm going to get a lot of negative feedback, and I just pray that help me to not comment back. So that's it for today's video, and I pray that you guys have a blessed week, and I will see you next week with my next topic. Great. Thank you. Have a good night.